The back edges are actually what's going to be gripping and cutting. So you do want a little serration here to kind of help it chew its way through, but this is really going to be your main cutting part here. So go ahead and do that on one side. Flip your blade over, and again, do it here as well too. I had to get that little chip out there, so to work a little bit more on that front part. And again, you're kind of just making these little serrations, these little micro abrasions all across the blade there. Now you can either switch to your fine tooth edge to kind of give it a slight honing. Again, you want it kind of roughed, or you can do your sharpening stone. And this is much more utility to it if you're really trying to work out some of those edges after you get it kind of topped up and more or less shaped with your file here. And again, what you're going to be doing is the same motion. So you're not going to be working against the edge of the blade like you would when you're sharpening a knife. You actually want to work outwards because you don't want to knock the burrs down. You want to make the burrs more prominent on the blade edge, and you want them to be sticking out with a very fine, sharp edge. And those will be the main cutters here, not so much the bevel of the blade. And you just kind of work it through. Make sure you keep your fingers away because you will cut yourself on this. For as much of a utility edge as it is, it will slice you open like a scalpel just because of those serrations. And that's actually the main important functional part of the blade itself. So you want to do this a couple of times, kind of feel your edge here. You want to feel a little bit of a burr, and you don't want a burr kind of rolling onto the other side. You want the burr more or less on the actual edge itself, and you can feel it. It feels like little needles poking you instead of a fine contiguous edge. Overall, you just kind of check out your blade and make sure everything is looking pretty good. Ooh, that was actually I had it sitting against a piece of cardboard here, and as soon as I pulled the blade up, it cut right into that sucker. So be very careful when handling this thing. All right, so now we got our blade topped up here. We got those burrs predominant and forward facing, and we're set to go. So let's go ahead and set up here, and let's get the harvest in, and we'll go on to the next episode, which is where we're gonna make our little hay line piles. I'm gonna show you how to set them up to dry during the dry season, and we're gonna go over how we're gonna be doing the flipping, the aeration, the drying, and then ultimately building the capizza. And that's gonna be a fun set of series here. So now we're into the next episode. Let's move in and get the grass cut.